I don't even know if I need a mic because I can yell pretty loud. But welcome to our Summer 2025 summer concert featuring the Vancouver Community Jazz Band. My name is Neil Huss. I'm the director of the ensemble. A little history about us. We started up January 2024. Our membership includes students of all levels, working adults, some retirees. They all come together, share their passion for jazz, and drive me absolutely up the wall. So it's a good time. Over the past year, we've grown pretty significantly. There's been a lot of demand for jazz performances, so we actually have a pretty packed schedule this summer. Between August 14th and September 11th, we have 5 performances. So which is good. I love it. But
when do we get paid?
I have made the effort to double your salaries. Yeah. Yep. It's been an exciting time for us. It's been a great year. The group that we have with us today has been together for most of the time, I'd say. We've peppered in a few new folks over the past several months and over the past year, but it's been a pretty solid group, and they've gotten used to playing with each other and bouncing ideas off of each other, and then bouncing ideas off of me, and I tell them no. So yeah, it's absolutely fun. I'd like to take a moment to recognize some history for today, actually. So today's Flag Day, for those who don't know. It commemorates the adoption of our national flag through a resolution passed by the Second Continental Congress. The resolution stated, quote, that the flag of the 13 United States be 13 stripes, alternate red and white, and that the Union be 13 stars, white in a blue field, representing a new constellation. Back then it was called the Betsy Ross flag. It was the 13 stars in a circle. While it's not an official holiday, Flag Day does have a long history. It wasn't until the Civil War when the first effort to recognize it came about, but it took until about 1916 when President Woodrow Wilson actually designated it as an official day. Now, he didn't necessarily say that, it's a federal holiday, but he, kind of made it like a pseudo-federal holiday. And the president actually has the ability to determine whether or not, we as a country are going to observe it. It also serves as the birth date of the United States Army, my grandfather served in the Army. A lot of my friends served in the Army. I don't know if we have anyone in the group. Don't believe so. Okay. Oh, wait. Bill, that's right. Now it all comes together, actually. That picture I just realized in my brain. Oh, boy. So, Flag Day was officially established by an act of Congress in 1949 after the Second World War, and again, it serves as the birth date of the United States Army. In honor of Flag Day, we would actually like to perform our arrangement of the Star Spangled Banner, which is pretty jazzy, but it's really, really cool. And so, please, please enjoy. This will be interesting. right, thank you for indulging us on that. That was the word I was searching for earlier, and I couldn't remember. And of course, as soon as I walked away, I was like, oh, indulge. All right. So, let's get into it. Today's performance is going to include a variety of styles. So there's a little bit of something for everyone. Some of the tunes that we're going to play today are very well known. They're jazz standards. Some of them are a little more obscure. You may not have heard before, but kind of falls within the jazz realm. And anything actually can fall in the jazz realm if you switch it up a little bit. Our goal, of course, as an ensemble is to provide an entertaining experience. You're free to take pictures and videos, but please silence your cell phones. Yes, mine's silent. I've actually had that happen before. We are also here at the Washington Grange, number 82. We are very thankful to them for allowing us to use their space today. We are also collecting donations. We were going to have someone at the front door. It didn't happen that way, so we actually have a case up front, just like a begging musician on the street in New York. So if you are so inclined, please provide your donation to us. We recommend $5, but we are happily going to take more. So, yeah. All right, so we are going to open today's performance with a jazz standard by Billy Strayhorn, dating back to 1939. So, a little history on this one. When Duke Ellington offered Billy Strayhorn a job, he gave him some money to travel from Pittsburgh to New York City and gave him directions to get to his house via the subway system in New York City and provide directions to his house. The directions began with the words, "Take the A train," for the A subway service in New York City that stretched all the way through New York City. And it's a timeless classic, and so we are going to perform that for you today first. We hope you enjoy. thank you. So on that one, we featured Alan on alto sax. And Mark on trumpet. Yay! All right, so for those of you who have been following us for a while, or know somebody in the band that's been in the band for a while, you'll notice we have an affinity for Latin style music. We love playing Latin music. Up next is a pretty fast-paced samba composed by Eric Sherburne. It's been both fun and challenging for the group. And it's just been a great way to feature all of the instruments that we have throughout. There are some spots where it's just a couple of horns. There's spots where it's everybody together. There's spots where it builds like a pyramid upon each other. Lots of contrasting ideas in this piece, which is a lot of fun and a good challenge for us musically. So we're gonna even feature Max on the drums, or Bill's on the drums today.
Yeah.
That's right. Sorry. Yeah, Bill on the drums. I wrote it wrong. Not that. And we're also going to feature Mark again on trumpet. So this is one of the newer charts to our library. This is Muy Caliente. birthday. Alright, so for this next one, we're going to keep with the Latin style, which is kind of interesting because it's really more of a swing tune. This is one of the most famous tunes that has ever been recorded. It's been recorded over 300 times by artists, and most famously, of course, by Frank Sinatra, one of my personal favorites. It's the unofficial NASA song during the Apollo 11 missions, or the Apollo missions. And this track, actually, they did put it on the track and take it to the moon. So they did literally fly it to the moon. So, yeah, this is a cool little arrangement. It's more in the Latin style, but like I said, there's a swing feel to it. But yeah, we present Fly Me to the Moon. It's cooled down a little bit. We did turn the AC on, I promise. All right. So this next one is comes to us from Don Menza. Many of us love Don Menza. Okay, they don't. The trumpets particularly don't because it's written in the stratosphere. But he's had a major impact on jazz performance. He's a jazz saxophonist. He's known for featuring the instrument in his tunes, pushing the boundaries of what it can and can't do. We'll feature our sax section in this next one. Here. And they have been working hard on this one. But this is a really cool, it's got a little bit of a funk feel to it in some spots, but it's pretty straightforward. But yeah, we're going to focus on our sax section for this next tune, Groovin Hard. One, two, three. That was not bad.
That's a compliment.
That is a compliment. Yes, so that's our sax line. Yeah, with 7 of them, it's a lot. It's definitely some power there. All right, so we're going to switch back to the Latin style. This next tune was composed by Jim Swearingen. He has over 600 published works. I know that a lot of us have played some of his pieces. throughout our musical careers. I've played a bunch of his pieces as well. I've actually met him. He's a really cool guy. But yeah, it's pretty interesting to see how music can evolve throughout someone's career. We have younger members in the group, we have older members in the group. It's funny when we talk about different styles. Oh, I played this in high school, and oh, I played this in high school and college, and it's always fun to see how the music has evolved between the generations that we have. Jim Swearingen, unfortunately, is one of the staff arrangers at The Ohio State University. Sorry, Oregon Duck fans. Don't worry, how I hate Ohio State. He... Oh God, don't get him started. Just ignore the drums. He wrote a lot of cool, interesting pieces. And he really liked featuring the trumpet section. A lot of his Latin-inspired tunes focused more on kind of like mariachi style. And so in this piece, we're going to feature Megan on trumpet. This one's definitely a spicy one, so we hope you enjoyed Valero. And not the gas station, if anybody from the East Coast is here. No? Okay, just me. I tried. I told you I was going to try. All right, Valero. So once again, that was Megan on trumpet. Oh, Lordy. Yeah, that's one of our favorites. Like I said, we love playing some Latin tunes, and we have a good trumpet section for it. So for this next one, we're going to slow down and play a tune made famous once again by Frank Sinatra, 1966. This arrangement is by John Barry. We played several of his arrangements for other tunes, and he likes to spread the melody around different sections. We're going to include a small solo section for Mark on trumpet this time.
Hey, Mark.
And then, yeah, it's it'll be good. It'll be good. He said that he was going to boycott it, but then I looked back and he said he's good. So, yeah. All right. So this is That's Life. All right. So we're not done just yet, but definitely would like to thank you for your attendance and your support today. We're definitely honored to have the opportunity to perform. We'd like to again extend a special thanks to the Grange for hosting us and allowing us to perform today. Thank you. For those of you who are interested in seeing us again, we have again several upcoming performances throughout the summer. Next Saturday, not all of the group, but a portion of the group is going to be at the Cowlitz Wind and Music Wind Music and Arts Festival in Longview. So if you just happen to be in Longview, we'll have a group up there performing. We have performances scheduled all through August and September. We may have another one that I found out about today that the group doesn't know about yet. So pay attention to your emails.
Wine and jazz.
Yeah, we will be performing at the Wine and Jazz Festival, the Vancouver Wine and Jazz Festival downtown. That one's actually Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. We will be there both Saturday and Sunday. So we will be there all day. It'll be fine. On your programs, we actually have a little QR code. If you take a picture of that or scan it, it'll take you to our website. There you can see our calendar, the folks that are in the band with all their full name on it. I only put their first name on it today because, yeah, I wanted to save some paper. So yeah, it's a great way to connect with us. You can kind of follow us along. We've got videos of our performances on there. We've got pictures of places that we've been to perform as well. So, once again, we just thank you for coming out and supporting us. We're going to close out today's performance with a rock classic from the Ides of March. I'll spare you the history of how this song came to be, but it includes a guy, his car, and a girl. Tale as old as time. Well, as old as car, yeah. We will be featuring Eric on trombone this time. And just a fair warning, he has his own style.
Trombone style.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so this is a powerhouse arrangement of Vehicle.
Sure. Don't sit. I'm playing that solo for like 6 minutes.
1, 2, 3, go. right, that concludes our concert for today. We greatly appreciate you coming out and listening.